Good morning, Twitch. Back at back to you again with this impromptu stream. I just figured I got some time, might as well play. So let's begin. I've made a couple of changes since last time, so hopefully it won't be as well. I should be able to respond to people a little better if they come speak to me. Keyword should. So, let's get started. So when last we left off, I made my way to the first planet, Raikadi Philia, went through the combat with the prisoners, and am now meeting up with some guards. So, Lord Van Valencius, my greetings. May the light of eternal terror shine forevermore. The young man before you offers an impeccably courteous bow, then straightens his back and looks you in the eye, not as a show of defiance, but with cool confidence. It is a gaze with which one embraces an equal. Evian Winterscale, younger son of Caligos Winterscale, at your service. Lord Percival von Valencius, I am pleased to make your acquaintance. As am I. Vane's voice is soft, immaculately polite. Please accept my apology for the slight breach of etiquette. Here and now is neither the best place nor time for protracted ceremony. Is there anything you can tell me about the station in the system, the Navis Nobility? I know more than most, but less than one might expect. Our navigators are true recluses. The Vane stops for a moment and glances forward. You can see he is aching to continue further into the prison, but he suppresses the urge to roast him off. Urak 5 station is the sovereign... great. A word my brain just immediately can't think of. I'm not even gonna try. Of Navigator House Roselia. As I said, they are remarkably reclusive, unwilling to interact with anyone, even the system's government. However, House Roselio has a direct agreement with House Winterscale. Several navigators of the house served on my father's ship. That is why I was granted personal access to the station, for emergency situations and important negotiations. I have been to the station twice, alone. It is the master's demand that even guards and servants be left on the shuttle. By the throne, is it a bizarre place? Inexplicably... Sorry, something just came up. Unexplicably, my emotions would shift from sudden trembling to carefree jubilation. For what reason, I cannot say. That station was far from fitting. Every servant who tended to me there had their tongue amputated. Well, I doubt such details are of interest to you. Once we are done here, I can try to contact the station and request access for you as well. But I'm almost certain it will be for naught. Allow me to use your access code. My navigator is dead. If I fail to find a new one, the very first warp jump could spell disaster for my ship. As a nobleman and scion of a rogue trader house, you're obliged to aid. There's a long pause. The Vane peers at you, weighing something in his mind. Eventually he lets out a sigh. It is an onerous task, trusting someone at first glance, but I have a good feeling about you, Lord Von Valencius. After all, people in our position can afford to be candid with one another. Absolutely not. They absolutely cannot. Lately, The Orcelios have been acting even more strangely than usual. They changed their access code with an unreasonable frequency. Right before I left Reykjavik, my comlink received a message. How can a blind man see the starry sky? I presume it is the new passwords. If it is a little help to you, you have my apologies. The navigators are a peculiar breed. Lord Captain, while he's being all nice, why don't you ask him if we can borrow a few teeny planets of his? And later, if he asks for them back, you could just say you can't remember where you left them. Trust me, works every time.
Do you not wish to inquire why I stand at the head of my house and not Theodora?
I gather more than a few people have already put that question to you. Or perhaps you expect to be accosted by such queries in the future. Honestly, I do not ask because I was afraid of being obtrusive and tactless. But to tell the truth, I am dying to know. Theodora perished in an occultist raid, one that took place right here in the Reykjavik system. That is when I took the helm. Please accept my condolences. May Lady Theodora's soul be forever in Terra's eternal light. So, you are still new to your status. You have not yet had your Magna Essentio, I presume? How fascinating! I do not believe I have ever had the fortune of meeting an individual with a fate so compelling as yours. I hope that one day you may grace me with a presence under more certain circumstances, Lord von Valencius. There is much I wish to speak to you about. It would be refreshing to at least converse with a never concentrate pedigree, and not some lowly servant or commoner. Of course, I hope my company will not disappoint you. Let's discuss the matter at hand. You are here to end the riot, are you not? Indeed. It is a personal matter, if you will. And not simply because this incident occurred in a system that belonged to my father. The prison warden, he used to be a close friend of mine once. I want to give him a chance to come to his senses, lay down his weapons, and stop this senseless uprising. The warden is clearly not of sound mind. At one point he was trying to manage the inmates by offering incentives and every day, even days of rest. What utter madness! Incentives and leisure, you say? That sounds like the Anne I know. For as long as I've known him, Anne has always been a thinker, a dreamer even. He would dig up these ancient books, studying societal models and theories. He was obsessed with ideals. There are priests within the ecclesiarchy who would call it heresy to view the society of the Imperium as anything but perfect. However, I believe that Anne only wanted what he thought was best. I only wish I knew where that road had taken him. Yeah, I've known a few dreamers like that myself. They always want what's best, but somehow it always ends in heresy. Back on my world, there was a big shot who was really into dental hygiene. To spare his people from pain, he started pulling out their rotten teeth. But he got slightly carried away and started pulling healthy ones too. Sometimes along with the jaw. Preventative care, he called it. So a mob of toothless servants ended up tearing his kindly head clean off. It was preventative too, you see. That little noggin of his is rotten through and through. Rebelling against lawful authority is heresy. Expending clemency to a heretic. No.
If your diplomacy can truly stop the riot, it's worth a try. The fewer deaths, the better.
My father would disagree. Thankfully, he is not here.
You came here with naught but a single shuttle's worth of guards. Do you not think it foolhardy?
So did you. I had my doubts, of course, but I am not Governor Medenya. I refuse to sit idly in the safety of my bunker. I wanted to do something, and I thought arriving with a light escort would show Anathagon the sincerity of my intentions. Had I arrived at the head of a whole unit, I would not fault Anne for using this, assuming this was an assault.
Where is Warden Castigalia now?
He is up ahead somewhere, further below. We exchanged a few words over Vox, and he said he'd meet me in the quarry behind the prison building. Strange choice for negotiations, but those were his conditions. Very well, in that case, I shall accompany you. I must admit, I do appreciate your company. This prison has given me a strong sense of unease. But the lift cannot support both our parties. If you're going ahead, wait for us in the quarry. We'll fall shortly. And we leveled up. Let's go. Level 5. What do I want? What do I want? I probably want passive learning, right? That's the all enemies that tell everybody is at the start of each U-turns. Distribute half as many exploits. Yeah. I sort of want to be quick. Offensive pattern predictions doesn't scale that well, I don't think, right? It still scales poorly. It still scales poorly. So, actually, let's get reactive study. I want to lay on those things thick. And more intelligence. We are a genius level intellect. Look at how good I am with tech use. Alright. New ability. Always taunting scream, right? Yeah. Always. Oh. That's bugged. Yeah, let's do taunting scream and of course athletics. It's an enemy that's affected by both. Let's go with brush target isn't bad. It scales well enough, right? It's perception based too. But I think for now, let's go with passive learning. Actually, no, let's go with fresh target. And for her, it's always perception. Perception before anything. Just increases everything about that she likes. Right now I'm doing shooty stuff. Although I could equip the flamer, which I'm doing. Alright, let's head off. Just so I don't have to try to level up again. Well, that was fast.
That's how it's done. I always get the job
Evidence
done.
suggests that the victim was killed with poisonous gas. Look, prisoner, warden cast. I was hoping if I waited.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
I forget. Can you sneak around and examine this? No, you cannot. Okay. But yeah, as you can see, there's chaos symbols and stuff around. I'm just gonna walk to the other side here. Everything in the appearance of the man walking towards you, his gesture and his very demeanor speak of noble birth. This creates a stark contrast with his hair, a matted knot that clearly has not been brushed in weeks, and his crumpled and filthy clothing. His face is pale and his eyes burn feverishly. Who are you? I was expecting my friend Evane, and not an intrusion. Then your wait is over, Anne. However, I did not come alone. I'm accompanied by the Honorable Lord von Valencius. I should have guessed it would be you. What do you want, enemy of Aurora? The warden's words are suddenly drowned by a chorus of voices in your head. The entity that still dwells in the recesses of your mind rejoices in a cacophony of cries. This place, it holds great significance for the entity. In the frantic chanting of the voices, you can almost make out words that speak of an ancient grave, one that was opened, for it contained a priceless treasure, most coveted prize that was retrieved by the faithful after a centuries-long search. That pit, there's something special about it, is there not? Not even valuable, but there. Now tell me, Warden, what was the item? Who's looking for it? You are too late, enemy of the truth. The Bastion has already fulfilled its great purpose. You will never find the trial of the reclaimed relic that now rests in the hands of the devoted. Why did you mutilate these people? These are my optimats, saints who will guide the flock at the fated hour. Listen, can you hear? You can't. They are crying out, calling. It's just that their cries are not meant for our ears. They cast voices out there, beyond the edge of the glass, into the transparent quiet. There they are heard. There their call is answered. Anne, this isn't you. I do not know how it has come to this, but please let me. Quiet! Evie, I promise I will talk to you later, when we are alone. I can't say I'm eager to spend time alone with you. Not after everything I've witnessed on Rykad Philip. What I'm witnessing right now. You know, we once had this guy once. He was a quiet one. One day he walked into a middle deck bar, threw one back, and then pulled out a gun and started shooting people left and right, without saying a word. Then he shoved the barrel in his mouth and blew his brains out. Our warden here has exactly the same look in his eyes right now. Who is Aurora? Oh, you've managed to barge in here and interfere with the prophetess's designs without even knowing who she is? Oh, but it is too late now. You will never attain sight. All you can do is accept your fate. I do not like when people take the prophetess's and Aurora's name in vain. I desire your death, enemy of truth. Wait! The warden raises his hand, and the main people start thrashing about in their death throes. The time for words is past. Optimats, give your power to this harbinger of Aurora. Let our foes see the truth, or become awash in blood.
You will beg for mercy.
Oh, that's
I will
hard.
grant none.
Okay.
Masters demand your death!
Name? Blob. Percival goes pretty late. Let's go to that. Okay, you move over here.
As the Emperor
Rapid
commands,
fire.
I act.
And
Faith
unload.
without deeds is worthless. Eradicated.
I got 2 deaths. It didn't count them, but I got them.
Doubt is for the weak.
1 and 2.
Guided by faith. I'll do it.
Oof. Oh. Yes. Fight, Abelard, fight!
I will do my duty.
Tell them to pick a fight with you.
Victory is imminent. Tried and tested tactics are the best ones.
Tried and tactic tactics are the best ones, Abelard.
It will be done.
Alright.
There is movement in
To
the
the
Imperium.
Imperium.
On it.
Okay, have Abelard have an extra 10% boost.
Anything else?
Weapon at the ready.
Weapon Curator. Beautiful. Beautiful shot. I'm glad I brought you guys. Alright, my go.
Don't let your guard down. I'll see to it your end was inevitable.
Alright, get those 2 kills.
Who, if not me, never stood a chance?
I almost shocked myself.
It's as good as done.
Warden Castigal has 25%. I will do so. That's. Dang. I do 21 right now. So I will hold off for now. This.
Death to the weak. Chaos.
This is the dangerous one. Never mind, he doesn't have that thing. Well, thanks for the follow, Miss David. Hope that's how you say it. I don't quite trust my abilities to, Awesome.
As the Emperor commands,
Yeah,
I
RPGs have been my favorite forever. Love playing them so much. Huh. That's been bugging. Oh well.
Pain and duty go hand in hand. At your beck and call. It will be done.
So we're just going through the Winter Scale fight, if you've ever played Burp Trader before. Or, sorry, not Winter Scale fight, the Warden fight in Act 1.
Victory is imminent.
My basic strategy so far has been just keep him taunted with Abelard and kill all the guys. Yeah, this is technically the second time I'm streaming. I streamed first.
But of course.
Just a couple days ago, Thursday. So, still pretty fresh. Still getting used to things. And there's still some things that need to change to come. For now, I'm happy with what's going on.
Scared yet?
Yeah. I would love to stream more,
Taking
do more
calculated
streams
risks is in
related
my
stuff.
second nature.
I think it would be good. And fun. Like, I play games all the time. I think it's great that, you know, anyone, including someone in my situation, can get into
I'll see to
streaming
it
and
personally.
do well.
On it.
Perfect. But, yeah, I'm very new to streaming. This game's always been a comfort game for me, though, so I felt like it's good. I'm an accountant, technically, but I have not been able to get an accounting job for a while, so I've just been doing whatever.
God Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart!
And it's on...
Eradicated.
It's gone well. I mean,
I stand, and thy light I crave!
not right now, no.
I'll do it. This is why I was chosen.
I've been doing whatever, so I've been doing a lot of labor positions. I've been like, I'm trying to think of the right term.
Faith without deeds is worthless. Doubt is for the weak.
I'm a Canadian.
Indeed.
Born and raised. So,
My place is at the fore.
but, which... Nah, I won't ask that, that's too personal. Well, thanks for joining this stream. Nice to see that some people are showing interest.
Leave her to rot.
Oh, phew, I thought I summoned a demon there. Well, I'm glad you like Canadian people.
I'll make it happen.
I know the relationship between the US and Canada hasn't been the best lately, but
Who if not,
not
me?
much we can do about that.
It's as good as done.
I've been working on that since. I just haven't
The enemies of the Emperor will
haven't gotten
be
around to it
undone.
yet.
As the Emperor
I'm actually planning on being a PNG tuber. Just the artists I commissioned for my art,
I'll do it.
or that I commissioned for my avatar, they didn't finish in
As
time.
the Emperor
So I wanted to start with a new update to the game and the new DLC. So it just worked out that way.
I will do my duty.
Sure. If you're offering, thanks.
At your beck and call.
Nice. Finally you hit a shot. Oh, I did summon
My
a demon.
ears are ringing.
I'll get around to that after stream. But thank you. I will be sure to. I'll be sure to do that. Thank you.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Doubt is for the weak.
There we go.
Not my worst day.
Oof.
Yet.
Blood
Victory
is
is
not
imminent.
long for the world. Yes, yes. I'll, like I said, I'll do it after stream.
At your beck and call.
But once again, thank you for
I will do
offering.
it like you. Stay vigilant.
Let's get to it.
I don't need luck. I have strategy.
Let's see, can I get
On
the
it.
kill here? Maybe. How much armor? 24. Have 6. And exploits at 5. Okay, so I guess attacking's just more worthwhile. And if I get the knockback, I win. Alright, this one's dead. And I got him. Oh, they still lived. Oh. Please kill it. Oh. Argenta's dead.
Hold on. Stay
Oh,
with us.
man.
Let's get to it. I'll revert to more conservative tactics. A tactically sound
Alright,
approach.
perfect.
It will be
Let's
done.
get the
I
kill
took care of this
finally. Yikes.
one. Indeed.
Double yikes.
Follow my
Show me what
I
you've
like
got.
the NPCs are just kind of useless. Oh, that one's done some work.
Let's make some opportunities.
Let's see. Can I hit them without hitting my ally? I can.
My gut
Perfect.
tells me it's a bad idea.
Alright, let's get those numbers down.
I'll make it happen.
Nice. Beautiful hit.
Hold on. Not my worst day.
I think Abelard is done. Alright, cutting it to the wire. Oh, but we definitely got the kill.
I am ready for whatever
Really
comes.
cutting it down to the wire, though. Dang.
Who if not me?
Alright, expose weakness, and finish them.
Your enemy down. Let's not waste time with pleasantries.
Oh, that was close. Nice. Yvain approaches the body of his friend and remains silent for some time. Then he looks at the quarry. His gaze is dark. Everything here must be purged with fire. Anne, what have you done? I'm curious indeed, just what exactly has been done here. I do not No, nor do I want to know. These ravaged people, this strange glass, all this talk of Aurora, these are abundantly clear signs of lunacy and heresy. I wish I could understand how the man I knew came to be this way, but one should not peer into the abyss. You've got that right. That abyss happily swallows up wretched commoners and polished aristocrats alike, and in likes naive idealists best of all. Adira smiles bitterly at Vane, before turning her gaze to the remains of her former friend. May I invite you aboard my ship, Vane? I'd like to continue our acquaintances. Thank you for the invitation, and gladly accept it. I'll arrive by my shuttle in a little while. If you'll excuse me, I'd like to be alone for the time being.
Is there
Woo!
money to
3
be
profit
made?
factor. Money, money, money. That fight went very wrong. Your eye is drawn to the shard of the enormous lens shattered around the broken device. At first, you are uncertain as to what troubles you, but suddenly, realization hits you. The glass shimmers in a unique way, just the same way as the shards of the unknown broken object you found near Theodora von Valencia's desk. What's the matter, Lord Captain? Why are you so interested in... Adelard trails off when he notices what you are looking at. He instantly makes the connection. By the Imperial Saints, it cannot be. Adira bites her lip. I see it too. Whatever that thing in her study was, it was made by the same material as this junk. What? Abelard is at a loss for words. He takes a moment to collect himself, and all at once, they start pouring out in a hasty sputter. It's a mistake. Slander meant to blemish the good name of a person who is now dead, and cannot even defend herself. First, those minions of the arch enemy murdered Lord Captain Theodora, and now, this cannot be tolerated. It will not be tolerated. Come on now, Abelard. Remember what she was like? Adira's smile betrays her grief, but at the same time, it is strangely knowing. Brazen, assertive. It was like her entire life was a race against fate, till fate caught up with her. In the end, she would have gone headfirst into the black hole if she had thought it would put her even one step ahead of everyone out in the expanse. If we could just find out what she was keeping in her desk, and why she went to get it during the attack. The Sergeant's beautiful face is full of grief. How bitter it is to know that you were born from bad blood. But do not let this knowledge drag you into darkness. Such as success. The sister's words ring with genuine, sincere hope that you be blessed with a worthier fate. She does not appear to be shocked by the news of Theodora's possible heresy. Life must be so easy for your sanctimonious preacher. A dubious trinket and you no longer see a person. You see bad blood, an annoying hindrance. There's enough venom in Adira's voice to poison an entire regiment. Ardenta recoils, but the next moment her dark eyes ignite with fury. How dare you abolish me? We are speaking of abating the arch enemy. A person who has tainted themselves thus can never justify their actions. Sure, why go through all the trouble of trying to make sense of anything when you could just label them a heretic and call it a day? Except, dear friend, I seem to remember that you didn't mind Theodora so much while you were aboard her ship. You didn't leave her side for even a moment. She rescued you, aided you, and your adoration wilted the moment you heard an accusation sullying her memory. You weren't surprised or upset. You just gave up on her and moved on. Say nothing. So the spoils are bounty, normal flak checks piece. Oh, that's just gonna
Lear's not Dorl.
go away. Good old loot. Anything else worth looting? There's some. Let's see here. Man, I'm super happy to be streaming. Like, I always had the idea of streaming,
always
loved the
keep my
idea of it.
options
I just
open.
never thought I could get to a point where I could. The rebellion has been crushed. I have news of your lord. Is Lord Winterscale alive? Is he alright? He is safe and in one piece. I will receive him as a guest on my ship, so ready the shuttle. Consider it done, your lordship. Thank you for the good news. I have no more questions. Alright. Loading. Permission to report, Lord Captain. Over the past few days I have received several messages from different decks complaining about anomalous behavior in the ship's cogitators and saboteurs. The machine spirits are restless and rebellious, and no technicity or ritual of pacification can rid them of this obstinate. The tech priests can deal with the vessel systems, but the saboteurs, they make errors in their task, disobey orders, change the assigned rituals, or something downright freeze as if in a trace. Lord Captain, occurrences such as these are caused by errors in cogitator calculations, or of some other sensible explanation. I beseech you, not to take after those who whisper about your ship being cursed or possessed. Oh, don't start, old man. All these peculiar happenings have long since turned into local legends. A door slams shut, a lumen starts flickering. Folk have grown used to all that. So our resident ghost has decided to up the ante. I'm telling you, things are only going to get worse from here. The Technomots inspected the servitor and concluded they pose no danger. According to the servants of the Omnissiah, such behavior is caused either by the echoes of minds not completely eliminated, or by manifestations of machine spirit's will. Nevertheless, the faulty servitors make the crew's task considerably more difficult, and High Factotum Janus Dangrock would like to discuss how he should deal with the defective property. He is awaiting your audience on the bridge. Perfect. Alright, let's head off. Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. It's pandemonium outside the bridge. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Rosarian's voice. In any case, I want to warn you in advance. Time to do a little bit of personal stuff. The everyday sounds of the bridge disrupted by the voices raised in anger. Abelard's voice is the loudest of all. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a high-born brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. The young woman standing before Abelard strives with all her might not to quail under the onslaught of her superior's anger. She falters, but then manages to look him in the eye and say, I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain, not least because I see you have already seen fit to disturb him. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence towards a high-ranking officer will be logged on your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant of our event, requesting permission to speak. Event falls silent and then adds rashly, a matter of extreme importance and urgency.
You may speak, but I will not hear a report. I will hear a report, not a shouting match. Have two officers bickering in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. I thought that drastic times called for drastic measures, Flint exclaimed haughtily. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks in order to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary. But I'm convinced that this step is unwarranted, and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Flint is almost trembling with tension as she delivers her speech, her face extremely pale. Abelard is in no hurry to interfere. Lets out a skeptical huff. He glances at Sarbach, who is standing not far from him, but she maintains a stony expression. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Wersterin, and to intervene in what's happening on the lower deck, because, very soon, we'll have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. Vent reels off the last word as though she knows them by heart. She's clearly been preparing to say them for some time. When she is finished, she casts an anxious glance at Abelard and then you. Where does my seneschal come in to all of this? I shall explain. I beg you to hurry. Time is running out. I will not hurry. Since my competence is under scrutiny, I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way things are done on this ship, and one of the pillars of that system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is the Seneschal's role to ensure that. I have always handled internal problems myself. So, of course, when I received information about cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matters in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valencius will find refuge on her ship. You're far too heavy-handed, Seneschal. Arrests, interrogations, mass punishments for the entire sector. This driven the people to the brink. Now there's a strike on the lower decks in Depot 4, to be precise. 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could generate into an all-out insurrection. But when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strikes with maximum force. What is Depot 4? Depot 4 is one of the poorest sectors on the lower deck. It is home to clans of general laborers. They are not as valuable to the ship as the families who have served its specialized systems for generations. They are an easily replaceable resource, and one which is now more besides giving succor to cultists and minions of the archenemy. Depot 4 is poor and troubled, but at worst that means drunken fights and illegal rotgrud brewing. We have handled the workers of Depot 4 in the past. We would have done so again if the crackdown on Depot 4 hadn't been so harsh. And another important point to bear in mind, the problem is not limited to this sector. It is located on one of the most populated lower decks, and everything that happened there has a knock-on effect on all the neighboring sectors. How did this all start? The situation could boil over any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began when enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who'd been killed in a drunken brawl. We reported it up to the chain immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the search has brought tension between enforcers and workers to a head. Abelard, what do you have to say about all this? I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interest of your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions yourself, I have no objections.
For my part, I urge you, Lord Captain, to go down to the lower decks, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You will see that they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way, you will stop the uprising before it begins. Master-at-Arms, the ships and forces report to you, and yet you seem hesitant to provide your own perspective. Lord Captain, unlike Lieutenant Vent, I respect the chain of command and realize that it is not within my rights to challenge my superiors. Sarbeck prowls her head in Abelard's direction. However, a moment later, a serpentine smile appears on her lips. That being said, while I entirely share Master Worsarian's opinion on the fate of Depot 4 deserves, I must note that this insubordination is a direct consequence of practices that he himself has introduced. Mistress Sourbeck, I see that you have decided to follow the lieutenant's example after all. Such behavior does you no credit. Sourbeck, explain yourself. The ship's regulations states that the Master-at-Arms is responsible for resolving all matters related to the ships and forces, and yet it is no secret that the Seneschal has a tendency to show partiality. Those in forces and officers whom he deemed particularly promising are at times given permissions to approach him for tutelage. I cannot deny Master Wazarian's experience and insight. The Seneschal has a record of fostering students who have indeed achieved much and demonstrated impeccable performance. However, extending such patronage over the head of the immediate superior encourages disregard for hierarchy among your lordship's servants. Today, an enforcer goes to the Seneschal to report an order from the Master-at-Arms that they happen to disagree with. Tomorrow, they will go to the Lord Captain to object to the Seneschal's order. I notice a pattern in these actions. Chenefet, would you say the Seneschal has singled you out from your peers in any way? Lord Captain, I swear the Seneschal Wezrin has never granted me any privileges, never once advocated for me, nor facilitated my promotions, although he is the man who convinced me to become an officer in the first place. He's offered me extensive guidance in my service, for which I am grateful to him. And while not all my fellows receive such attention, I know of at least a dozen fine officers whom the Seneschal keeps in his sight to ensure that they continue to strive. Prepare new generations of the dynasty's servants to instruct them, and to separate those with potential from those who have exhausted it. That is my duty as a Seneschal. False! Your duty as Seneschal is to handle things that the Lord Praetor shouldn't handle, including all the dealings and such. This ship has bays worth of pilots, enforcers, officers, technicians, and stewards, whom I raised personally. My throne, every third person standing on this bridge right now was my student at one point. Abelard, do you wish to respond? Mistress Sourbeck, can you recall an occasion where I would encourage an officer to obey their superior, or one where I would overrule their order, or show favoritism to those who merit none? None, Seneschal, for there have been no such cases in the entire time I have served aboard this ship. If anyone were to claim otherwise, I'd have them pay for insulting your honor with blood. Your conduct in this regard have always been spotless. Nevertheless, given your eminent position, a simple show of attention on your part is enough to erode the propriety of junior officers, inflate their sense of self-importance, and undermine their discipline. That you distinguish some of them and know them by name is tantamount to walking around the officer's deck handing out gifts to officers who've caught your eye. It fills those you set apart with ambition and audacity, makes them stand out among the rest. Forces are meant to be faceless servants, fighters ready to die. Their fate entrusted to their commander, no one else. That is the sole foundation of order. I see. Evidently, my officers are anything but shining examples of unity and adherence today. I have only myself to blame, I suppose. I am certain that the Seneschal was acting within his authority, but I'll verify the soundness of his decision for myself. Throne preserve you, Lord Captain. Thank you for your support. An enterprise bordering on the sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Lord Captain, I regret that the enforcers were unable to handle the situation, which then led to your and the Seneschal's involvement. I consider it my duty to go to Depot 4 myself and see to the expedient resolution of this incident. There we go.
Yeah.
Abelard reflexively wipes the sweat from his brow in a startlingly human gesture, and a telling one. A rare moment where he allows his age and weariness to show through his armor-like veneer of self-assurance. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. Did you hear? They were shouting your name. Of course they were. The organization of the daily routine life of the ship rests upon my shoulders. The mountain of challenges and problems from which I endeavor to insulate you, Lord Captain. The situation on the lower decks has been cause for concern, and I have intervened personally on more than one occasion. That must be why they remember me. They do not know your face. To them you are akin to a creature of legend. One who has stood on the steps of the Golden Throne, no less. Whereas I am the man whose name is attached to every order, docking rations or lowering the bay's heating. Let's keep moving. We need to get to the bottom of this.
I always have a backup plan.
Just make
This could
sure.
be an
Oh, we
opportunity.
noticed that. Perfect. Alright.
I still do not see our purpose in coming here.
Relax, old man. Going for a stroll on the lower decks every once in a while is good for you. Lets you see how the simple folk live.
By the way, I do like her thing, because it makes her perils less. The sound of a heated discussion reverberating through the ship's bays. Lieutenant Avrilla Vent of the ship's enforcers is barring the path of her superior, Master-at-Arms, Jocasta Sarbeck, who has arrived clad in armor. Judging by their expression and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already. It has now reached a boiling point. Lieutenant Vent, my patience is wearing thin. I have given you an order. Now get out of my way. I cannot comply with that order, ma'am. This is my deck, in my sector. So long as this area remains under the Lord Captain's special oversight, no action can be taken without my express permission. There are only 3 people who are authorized to make me stand down. The first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. So not all of my lessons fall on deaf ears. Abelard mumbles in crabby approval. He does not clarify whether he means Vent, Sarbak looming over her, or both. Your lordship. Noticing you, the 2 officers snap your attention and salute. Their subordinates follow suit a moment later. We encountered locals on our way here. Their conduct was outrageous. They were even throwing things at us. The people are getting desperate, clearly. They saw the assault unit and they decided they had nothing left to lose. I apologize, Lord Captain. This is outrageous. I'm sure the people simply didn't recognize you. They wouldn't have occurred otherwise. We'll deal with them once the current situation is resolved. What is the situation? Your lordship, my people have locked down the bay where these strikers are, including their leaders. We have the situation under control as far as resources allow. Under control, Lieutenant. I came here to lead an investigation unit, and what do I see? The rabble is on the verge of mutiny. There is nothing to investigate. This simply calls for immediate repression and firing squads. And you, Vent, or step away from facing charges yourself. Is that all you have to say? Are you sure you're worthy of an officer's rank, Lieutenant? Forgive me, Lord Captain. I'll take steps to ensure something. I will speak to the strikers. Abelard's mouth twists and he restrains himself and says nothing. But you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
I've got a reputation for dealing with stuff like this, so... An arbiter. Dozen pair of eyes stare apprehensively at you. People before you are typical inhabitants of the lower deck. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernible to the strange to the outright grotesque. A whisper passes through the crowd as you detect a mixture of fear and astonishment and joy in their reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd, an elderly woman and 2 men. These must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you've come down to us. We were attacked on our way here. How do you explain that? Here's an explanation for ye. The people have been pushed to their limit, and now they're lashing out. As if we don't know why these top-deck units are being sent down here. Like that one there, that the lieutenant won't let past. Our plans are all inside the bay that's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who've had just about enough. We're getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who've risen up. A death squad has just arrived. It's no wonder folks are lashing out. The word seems sincere to you. The body language and the glances traded between them reveal that the news of the attack is shocking them. Tell me what is troubling you. Why are you striking? Stop striking? That's news to us, Your Lordship. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think.
Shut up, Village. Here's the deal, Your Lordship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for the batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to the whole bay for a week at a time. So we get sick in trees. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs. All because of those enforcers.
Argenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes with the children's deaths mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sighing over herself. It's true. Venton's the only enforcer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks, and who grew up amidships, and has no fellow feelings towards us. Your lordship, we're no village here. We're honest workers, your servants. We've plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. Persecution stands apropos of nothing, you say. I was told one of you was found in possession of cultist amulet, and that there are heretics hiding here. A cultist amulet? What's that? The gewgaw they found on the dead drunkard? If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing the investigation would be punished. But how could there be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around. Definitely not. And if there were, we'd be the first to report them. And as for this amulet, or whatever it is, they took it off a dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when that fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. The boots they came back with, nobody ever tread these docks and boots so fine. I can tell you that. It seems to me these cultists have better commanders than us. Oh yeah, those boots were real fine. And there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor. And when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers and the servo motor. The same way my grandfather was taught hundreds of years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your lordship. We are people of faith. Naive children, weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the arch enemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any familiar object could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was long ago. Last time we saw a confessor in our sector, it was just after I'd have my third little one. That is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of these amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, or the scavenger who brought evil down on himself and his neighbors? Abelard, do you have anything to add? I authorize the use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos worshippers hiding in this sector. The specific steps taken by the officers were not reported to me. Abelard frowns, clearly disgruntled at having to explain himself in the workers' presence. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedovers. They are the enemy and the threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. Sorry, but is it really necessary to torture these people with the cold? The rabble understand only one language, Lord Captain. That violence. As per regulations, should the laborers persist in their unwillingness to cooperate, the next step is limiting air supply and cutting off water, which is almost certain to restore order. The peasants can grumble all they want, but in the end they are the source of their own misery. All they have to do is bow their heads and fall in line, and need for punitive measures will disappear. What changes do you want? Oh, sorry about that. Would you look at that? The exalted Lord Captain himself is asking us bilge rats what we want. But here's what we want. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here. We want to be armed. Give us arms, and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves if these cultists do show their faces. I've been leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here.
You've gone too far now.
They'll never let these maggots on the lower decks live without the enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first gate's out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop harassing us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultist bodies and we'll talk to them. One lower decker to another. If there are any more of those damn aliens about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. You speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures. I want real change. They'll promise us the world now. As soon as the Anointed One turns his back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before. All because we dared to speak out. Tall worker's eyes dart between the two arguing leaders. Every few seconds he opens his mouth as if trying to agree, but each time he falls silent. Simply making a few gestures and nods for approval. Spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step towards embracing chaos. Putting weapons in untrained hands would be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands, and we will consider the rest. The tall worker they called Rivet shrugs and casts a sidelong look at the old woman. Oh, now listen! The Lord Captain himself has come down and is offering us concessions. And I don't know a single person who, the whole of Depot 4, ever stood next to that rogue trader, let alone talk to them. Back down. Now's no time for you to be a stubborn old crow. Listen to us, old man. The three clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made our minds up. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us weapons. We don't need any of that. You two are ganging up on me, is that it? So brave of you against an old woman. But I'll shut up, I will. Indeed, I won't go against two clan leaders on my own. If you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. That's great, just fantastic. Lord Captain, we're all agreeing. Not Abalon. The story about going scavenging for boots and accidentally picking up a heretical amulet doesn't convince me. These people were moments away from rebelling, and possibly becoming minions of the arch enemy. We must not give them what they want, even if they did acquire something innocently, purely out of their own stupidity. Does not mean that they are not tainted with corruption. What begins as petty thievery can turn into a far graver problem. I've seen it before. In my second war, there was a sergeant in the Imperial Guard regiment that was stationed nearby. The sergeant took an ordinary pocket knife from the body of a heretic. His whole unit lost their lives for it. When they finally managed to break into the barracks, they found not a single survivor, only the pocket knife, which had grown through all the rows and beds, like a metal choking bar. So when it comes to scavengers, malcontents, strikers, or whatever they'll turn into next, my verdict is simple. Give them no quarter. Master at Arms, where do you stand? Give the rabble rocks, and they will take an angry world, Lord Captain. They only understand brute force and will interpret any concession as a sign of weakness. Giving them weapons and recalling the enforcers would be folly. It would only be a matter of time before we had fully scaled mutiny on our hands. That's it, it's decided. Persecution will stop, and I will expect you to assist in locating any remaining amulets or weapons left by the cult priests. Your Lordship, thank you. Oh, sorry. Your Lordship. Your Lordship, thank you. You've not abandoned us lower deckers, you came yourself and settled everything.
I'll tell my grandchildren about this. Of course, your captain, your lordship, will be brutal old nasties. Faster than the enforcers, and will leave no stone unturned. This complete bedlam. Are you satisfied, Lord Captain? Then may I suggest we leave this circus and discuss everything en route.
Rise to the top or get left in the dust.
I didn't realize I picked this
Cast
voice
your
so
eye there.
often. Ooh. Manometer.
Success is the only outcome I accept.
Alright. Wow, nobles from the upper decks. Yes, I know. One thing I will say, this game nails the rogue trader status. Like, everyone treats you like they should. You are given ample respect. Which should happen. You have a big piece of paper from Big E himself that says, hey, don't mess with me. I am rightfully allowed to break the rules because Big E said so. Just solving this puzzle. Head into here. Get that machine right set, and some more.
Is there money
loot.
to be made?
And then this one. Nope, this one then. Man, it's nice having
That's how
tech
it's
use.
done.
And then you get 3 more melta charges, 3 more multi-keys, and some grenades. And not like bad grenades either. Great grenades. Alright, level up. So that's just pure intelligence. I don't care about that. Tactical knowledge is a must, I think, for it to start with. It adds that bit of tankiness that I need. And gives extra damage percentage. It's just good. And yeah, it gives armor. It's just good. We have to course. We are our BT's coercion is our main skill. Abelard. Let's go with weapon skill. Let's I want something shield related probably. That's the what I want. Alright, new ability. Let's go. Yeah, let's go sensory deprivation. And I handle all the lures. Let's give her awareness. Okay, agility. Oh boy, there's some good pickups here. Oh. That's not nearly as good as it used to be. Yeah, it was never super good. There's +1 more damage and +3% crit with bolter. Bolt weapons, yeah. This is all willpower based though, ain't it? Uh-huh. Yeah, it's all willpower based. Yeah, and I don't plan on using that with her, so Tenants of Retribution for now. Perfect.
I always have a backup plan.
Stopping unexpectedly, Abelard imperiously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance, and addresses your other companions, saying, I have an urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment. Abelard looks at you, and his vestige of restraint vanishes. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You kowtowed to the disloyal rabble, you believed their lies and showed them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, that rabble will welcome them in with open arms and allow them to wreak whatever havoc they like, because they see you as a weak leader. Is that how you see your future home? Let's talk about your role in all this instead. You allowed this revolt to happen. Your actions practically guaranteed it would. I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene. Remember, Lord Captain, Theodora. Do you think she ever once stepped foot in the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and junior officers, but she dedicated herself to her grand designs for the Protectorate, as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. I would be only too willing to trust my seneschal, and not fill my head with such matters, but the situation had spiraled out of your control, Abelard. You're right. At least as it concerns junior officers making complaints directly to you. And I lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I ought to explain myself. The prosperity of the Von Valencia's Protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most I can't say words. monumentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds a sign of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds. They create order out of anarchy. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left behind everything I had known, everything my family had known. I come from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods, to distant frontiers, on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly, everything that had been built over years and years began to quake, rattling like flimsy hanger on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The rogue trader was killed. And who knows what is happening on the planets? I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty-bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you to find your footing as quickly as possible. To do that, I must insinuate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed excess to requirements. I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and Rogue Trader. Accept it. Start living in the new world, a world where Theodora's gone, where you and I have new decisions to make. Yes, Lord Captain. Your resolve is admirable, and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment should my old habits ever begin to creep back. And now, please, let us leave the lower decks. If the Rogue Trader desires to stretch his legs, there are far more suitable places. Yes,
Keep your
we're going to go
wits
to
about
one.
you.
Going to the chapel and solve all the puzzles there. And, do some of the quests, little mini quests that are there. By the end of this, we should hit, not today, but by the end of everything, we should hit, that's what I thought. We should, by the end of Act 1, hit level 15, 16. No, that was the wrong spot. Oh, we already have this. Oh, a new part of the ship to explore. Ho, ho, ho. Awesome. The implantation throne is majestic in its antiquity. The metal bench surrounded by countless injectors, manipulators, and vid screens leaves no doubt as to its purpose. The very nature of the machine is designed to transform living bodies by fusing them with the blessing of iron. Even to the naked eye, it's clear that the machine is alien. Grievously so. Oh, the manipulator's segment tubes hang limply, bleeding urgently, while the dusty lumens are only dimly illuminated. As the tech piece try to revive the relic, each swinging of the sensor is like a pendulum ticking down the moments until the throne's untimely demise. Your Lordship, thank you for gracing the Sector Bionica with your presence. You are already acquired with Drive Master Zira Talar. It is she who has been tending to the ancient relic. She is here to convey the wretchedness of our present position.
Lord Captain, the blessed machine, spirit that dwells within the throne is fading. I and many grieving tech priests have been performing unending sacraments of tech healing and prayers of operational benediction on the shrine. But even our devotion are merely staving off the inevitable.
Yes, I will do that voice always for her. She doesn't talk that much. And yes, I know she is a woman, but she's also a tech priest, so she's speaking in binary. My character just understands because I'm a Forge Worlder. Oh, gosh. Alright.
This throne is a creation of the Messiah, made centuries ago. Even before the unholy desecration of the relic, we were barely able to propagate its ancient machine spirit to perform sacred augmentation procedures. Many litanies and operating protocols did not survive through the ages. Now, with the demise of the keepers of the implantation throne during the mutiny, they have been lost forever. This sacred machine must be saved at all costs.
How are the relics damaged? I'm not going to be able to do that voice for long.
During the uprising, instigated by the rebellious Master of Whispers, the sector Bionica was besieged. The generators and Medicaid officer heroically defended the throne, but eventually the rebels broke through. Most of the defenders fell in battle, and many machines were lost or damaged. Many were able to be restored, but the throne was particularly badly damaged. What sacraments can the throne perform?
The shrine is capable of autonomously healing flesh and blessing it with augmentations under the supervision of knowledgeable Genitor. Complex procedures can be performed with unimaginable speed and precision, and stimulants administered in the required proportions and combinations. It is a true miracle of the Omnissiah.
What makes the mission so important?
It's unique, one of a kind. In the Logos annals of the Adeptus Mechanicus, this throne is identified as a shrine capable of autonomous augmentation rituals. Its loss is unacceptable, and any condoning of it is sacrilege.
In addition, only the rogue trader or persons authorized by the rogue trader may use it. It is an invaluable investment to your longevity and bodily integrity. How do we save the throne?
Only servants of the machine god endowed with high rank of Genitor Extremis, versed in all the necessary rituals and learned in the mystical occurrence of the motiforce can perform.
Oh my god, I'm dying.
The reparative sacraments and reanimates this mechanism. The only place where one might find such servants is on the cloistered station, Alter Tempula, Calix Extension 17.
To the best of my knowledge, the cloister mistress Talar is referring to is located in the Furibundus system. As denizens are not well disposed to communicating with the but I will be willing to leverage every diplomatic connection I possess to grant an audience with the station clergy. Dunark, I'll rely on your connections. I thank you for your favor, your lordship. Before you depart the sector Bionica, I would also like to present to you Genitor Majoris Ferenz and Vivisector Jaz Martinax. They are currently performing an urgent procedure and therefore were unable to attend to the inspection in person. But I am confident that they will receive the rogue trader visit as a great honor. If you will follow me,
Follow me! Okay. Uh-oh. Bluetooth is having issues. Uh-oh. That is not good. Ooh, let me just, technical. Sorry about that. I experienced some major technical difficulties. The smell of medical supplies and weak cries of pain fill the cold air. Two figures stand over an operating table. The patient lying upon it is bound in place. His head is soaked with blood. A woman in uniform is desperately trying to force her way to the table. Please help my son in the name of the Golden Throne. I know you can. Nautic has endured so much. The lined face of the middle deck veteran is contorted with grief. Every word speaks comes out in a long moan. Your lordship. The Medicaid officer dressed in protective attire briefly looks at you away from the table, welcomes you with a solemn address. Vivisector Jaz Martinax, at your service. The Rogue Trader's visit is a momentous event for the Sector Bionica. Will you grant us the honor of observing the operation? Man, I love that look. Holy fudge. The hunched tech priest on the opposite side of the table erupts in furious binaric trill as he suggests to immobilize the thrashing and moaning patient. After a time, he turns his metal-plated face to you. The life form
Etor Majoris Ferenz welcomes Lord Captain Percival von Valencius. I second my colleague's statement. Watch the parrot work. With each of his many ocular implants focused closely on the patient, Genitor Ferenz is rooting around inside the man's open skull with a thin, sharp, probe-like instrument. Meanwhile, Kyrgen Matrix's hands, clad in blood-stained gloves, are holding an injector of yellowish solution, which he administers into the patient's brain matter at regular intervals. Examine the patient. The man chained to the bed is missing the top part of his skull, the moist pink countenance glistening in the lumen light. The patient is conscious, his eyes are open and his parched lips are constantly moved as he mumbles. The man's terrified gaze meets yours and he falls silent. How curious! It seems the rope trader's presence is indeed influencing the patient's state of mind. Whether it is a manifestation of devout faith in his anointed, or a bizarre form of delusion, it can only be to our benefit. Whatever you're doing, your lordship, please continue. Your mother is here, Noctic, and she is very worried about you. Hold on for her. The patient's gaze is locked on the woman's face, the corners of his parted lips stretched to the faint semblance of a smile. His mother stares back almost without blinking. The throne of terror blazing in his light, turning aside every evil. Quiet chant emanates off from your side, turning the gaze from the patient. See to Sister Argenta, having made the sign of the Aquila, raising a prayer to the God Emperor. Her melodic voice is soothing and instills confidence. Through the bloody foam of his lips, the prostrate man whispers, God Emperor, bless you, Lord Captain. Barely exhaling the words, he takes a deep, pure breath. A moment later, the two people leaning over the patient simultaneously raise their instruments in a colorless voice. The tech priest proclaims, registering the complete stabilization of the life form's condition. Internal cortical damage has been treated. Requesting closure of the collet and transfer the victim to B-class stimulants. He will live, but the stimulants won't replace that part of his brain. If we implant a sacred cortical augment in his skull, it will restore his lost ability to think and act. Lord Captain, please. Your subject has a genuine need for this implant. This constitutes a violation of the sacred directives. The value of an individual life form is comparable less than the value of the sacred technology required. Augmentics of the specified class are rare and are restricted to senior officers, thus dictates the regulation of the Sector Bionicus. Who is this man? Expendable life form, to be utilized in void battles. One of thousands. A soldier from a Voidsman's combat unit and a devoted servant to the Emperor, Lord Captain. This young man has been fighting for his life. Even through his horrendous pain, if you allow the augment to be installed, his perseverance will become an example for others to emulate. My only son, he's serving a void unit. I was one who told him to go there. My poor Nautic. What are your respective proposals? I understand that my opinion might strike you as strange, for the mere fact that this poor soul has found his way to the Sector Bionicus might itself be regarded as a blessing. Yet hear me out. The installation of a cortical augmentation will restore the patient to health, serving as an example for the rest of us through his heroism. This will inspire the people and strengthen their faith in the Lord Captain, and let them know that the rope trader's mercy will not abandon them in their hour of need. The life form on the operating table is easily replaceable and does not possess any substantial functional value. Therefore, installation of the implant would be devoid of sense. Proposing replacement of lost function by means of Class B powder stimulants. The life form will have limited viability and will be gifted an optimal termination period with partial functionality. Policy interview. In the last Void battle, Lord Captain, where he barely survived his injuries, he has suffered a few healing attempts from Carlatons on the lower decks, and endured a long road to come here. However, no weapon can destroy the devotion and fortitude of a true servant of the God Emperor. I've made my decision. Fit the augmentation. Be here and obey, Lord Captain. I will see to the implementation at once. The esteemed servant of the Omnissiah will assist me in this procedure. The Genitor's Majoris response in Bionic carries a distinct tone of displeasure. Ignoring his colleague's reaction, the vivisector begins sending a thin augmentation spike to the patient's brain with uncanny precision. Before long, the iron plate of the cortical implant replaces the damaged bone with a resounding crunch. In the silence, you hear the soft sobs of a woman, Doctor's mother weeping helplessly, furiously wiping her eyes with her hand, but now a smile of relief lights up on her face. Thank you, your lordship. I'll remember your intercession for the rest of my life and pray for your good fortune. What's happening? Just him pressing some buttons? Oh, they're just putting him with the rest. How wonderful. Alrighty. Did I get anything for that? No. Aw. I like hearing the stabs.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
The conveyor is designed to transport dead bodies to the disposal unit. The middle surface is covered in repulsive-looking stains. Speak to the vivisector. A tall wisp of a man hurriedly turns to you. He was wearing an apron covered in dark splotches, and his thin arms are sheathed to the elbow in medical gloves. Your lordship! I apologize for my appearance. Bows low. My name is James Martinez, and I serve as a vivisector in this sector Bionica. It is an untold honor to welcome you to our deck. First of all, allow me to express my gratitude for permitting me to place a cortical implant in the injured man. Thanks to your mercy, one more person has been able to continue his service to the God Emperor. The vivisector makes a sign of the Aquala with his hands and bows to you again, even more deeply than before. Firstly, I must boldly warn you that until the relic that powers the Sector Bionica with the miraculous knowledge of the Omnissiah is healed, to my deepest sorrow, the installation of sacred implants cannot be performed. For all his florid speech, more typical of a noble than a Kyrgen, Matriarch speaks with genuine sadness. What does the vivisector do? My primary task is to heal the flesh, Lord Captain. I oversee the process involved in the workings of the body, and in the case of augments, how well they are joined onto the flesh. You might say I am sure that the metal sacred of the Omnissiah becomes true extension of the living body. Why is the implantation throne so important to you? It is probably a consequence of my years of practice among the Gene Tours. The Kyrgen listens with a genuine sadness to the lighting sounds of the binary hymn sung by the technomats to keep the ancient machine spirit alive. I learned much of the craft of healing from them, and after I found myself in the Sector Biotica, The machine spirit that inhabits that relic became my mentor. The artistry with which this machine joins flesh and sacred metal is so laborious and delicate that no human can replicate its effort. Many Medicaid officers have accomplished great things in their practice, but these successes are only crude limitations of the healing sacraments performed by the throne on their patients. Its loss would rob the Sector Bionica of its soul, Lord Captain. We cannot allow that to happen. Tell me of the Sector Bionica. The Sector Bionica is a special part of the Mid-K facility, where we employ augmentics and implants to give life back to those who have been irreparably injured. We replace lost organs with consecrated technologies and offer the named the chance to serve the God Emperor once more. The sector's assistants and Medicaid officers report to me, whilst tech priests report to Janitor Ferenz. Few vessels can boast a medical concilium of such quality. You work in tandem with the Janitor. That's right. First is in the business of coaxing machine spirits with the most sophisticated arguments. Who makes the final string procedure? I am in charge of the Sector Bionica. I do not mean to belittle the servants of the Adeptus Mechanicus in general, and certainly not Ferenz in particular, but they have much more to learn from the Officio Medicae when it comes to healing. Tell me about yourself. I am delighted to have you earned your attention, gracious Lord Captain. What do you want to know? You and Ferenz do not get along? Yes, Lord Captain. Sometimes we seriously disagree. Ferenz believes that replacing flesh with iron and receiving the blessing of the Omnicide is a privilege for the few. I, on the other hand, make no discrimination between servants of the God Emperor. Every faithful soul deserves a chance to continue working for the glory of humanity. I'm afraid it's not always easy for Ferenz and I to find a compromise. How did you become a vivisector? I come from a noble line on Janus. Family legend has it that my ancestor knew the secret of the planet's terraforming technology. I, on the other hand, have chosen a path that allows me to transform the person, rather than the planet. Advanced terraforming in a way, augmentation makes humanity stronger than any phenomenon in nature. Isn't that what the God Emperor wants us to be? Why do tech priests permit you to work alongside them? Augments are their preserve, are they not? An astute observation, Lord Captain. I am proud to tell you that I have had the honor of serving alongside members of the Adeptus Mechanicus back on my home planet. Among the tech priests on Janus, there are an entire division headed by Genitors. The knowledge of the Officio Medicae was established during more complicated procedures, for the sacred remnant of Genitors does not include tending to patients' mortal bodies. That is when an experienced Medicae must be brought into the ritual, and thus we found some common ground. I must stress that the esteemed Genitors do not permit me direct access to the machines, since none but they themselves are versed in the mysteries of operating them. My perfume is limited to the organic aspect. Let me talk about something else. I must take my leave. Alright.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Oh my gosh, too much talking.
I'm restless.
There's the Genitor. Screens of the ancient mechanism are as empty and dark as the dead man's eye sockets. The machine's spark has not filled them for a long time. Tech Priest stares at you with a single visor, amidst of a tangle of metal and wires. The box tester, placing his mouth, hisses. Scanning life form. Visit registered. Welcome to the Sector Bionica, Lord Captain. You will be received by Genitor Majoris Ferenz. Tech Priest turns and you suddenly realize that he was standing with his back to you. The front of his head is covered in blinking visors. With the highest priority, I notify the Lord Captain that the sacred Archaeotech is still in an agonal state caused by the malicious actions of the rebels. The functionality of the Sector Bionica is limited. The life form Genitor Majoris Ferens humbly awaits your assistance in purifying the reliquary mechanism. Why do you go so much about it? I am inclined to conclude that the Architect Augmentation Machine harbors a spirit that blesses all things around it, with the grace of the Omnissiah. Its nodes and pistons are filled with the wisdom of the Machine God, unfathomable to humble adepts, and if entropy consumes the spirit entirely, such wisdom will be lost. While the body of the machine remains dysfunctional, its spirit suffers from idleness, the motive force cannot nourish it, and its lessons remain blind. Litanies and rituals keep such an ancient creation of the Omnissiah from fading away completely, but these are only palliative measures. And if the spirit abandons its receptacle, the sacred Bionica will fall into decay, for the relic serves the same function as the heart does in human forms. Tell me about the Sector Bionica. Sector Bionica performs the repair and installation of sacred augment X for those who demonstrate the most efficient service to the ship. What does the Genitor Majoris do? Those bearing the rank of Genitor bestow blessings on the installation, consecration, and maintenance of the augments, thus drawing the feeble bodies of humanity closer to the maximum efficiency, pleasing to the Omnissiah. You work in tandem with the Vivisector, don't you? I deem the result of your scan to be accurate. The Vivisector performs the functions of preparing the carrier for installation of the maximum efficiency configuration. Who makes the final decision during procedures? The opinion of the Vivisector life form carries the most weight. The request for a review of chain of command has not been granted. There's no more about you. Given your inability to conduct a scan, I will respond to a limited set of inquiries. You and Ameritanax do not get along. Scanning. Response affirmative. The Vivisector life form regrettably ignores the sacred requirements of the efficiency in the service of the Omnissiah, attributing it to rudimentary experiences. How did you come to serve? I maximize the efficiency of the life form serving within the sacred manufactorum on Kiava Gamma. By the blessing of the Omnissiah, I ascended to the Genitor rank and was deployed onto this flagship. My proficiency in installing augmentations was praised as exceptional by the previous rogue trader. Are the tech priests of the Omnissiah even allowed to work with living flesh? I thought you held that in contempt. Flesh is weak, but its efficiency can be improved by the blessing of metal. According to the directives of the Omnissiah, pivotal life forms, like pivotal mechanisms, must withstand maximum stress and produce the best results. My duty lies in improving them. Let's talk about something else. I must take my leave. Jesus.
Is there money to be made?
The screens of the ancient mechanism are empty and dark, as dead man's eye sockets filled with... Okay.
I always get the job done.
Remote revitalization Mark MK officer. Oh, shoot. That is big. The range at which medikits and stimulants can be used is increased by... Fellowship. When the medikit is used to restore an ally wounds, it restores an additional 15% of missing wounds. Cool. When a stimulant is used, it restores the same amount of resting wounds. It also grants that ally momentum equal to the ally's resolve. That is cool. Cool, cool, cool. And we're given some stims and some large medkits.
I always have a backup plan.
Yep, so we can't do anything with that until Act 2. To the shrine. I'm excited to do some augmentation. That officer one's pretty cool. I could see someone making a medical build. I could see that specifically in a Heretic path, because is it Heretic 1? Yeah, it is Heretic 1. There's 20% chance to save a combat stimulant or medikit after using it. Or if you grab some specific items. Oh, damn. Commerce is not that high.
Keep your wits about you.
Oh. Lord
Success
Imperium.
is the only outcome I accept.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Initiate Psych. What is this rock next to you? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do a voice for him. A mysterious object, but undeniably a holy one. It was donated by a group of pilgrims who studied the legacy of the great mercenary knight in Alenkov. They believed there was something inside that someone truly righteous was meant to have. One of the pilgrims is so desperate to witness the moment the orb's opening that they proof their body to us. I will solve this riddle. Form the first question. My light reaches everywhere. The reader will see me in gold, the scholar in humanity's cradle. But only the righteous will see me within their souls. It's the throne. For better or worse, something clicks in the door. From the next question. I am within every human. And my loss is feared. For without me comes the end. But give me to the Emperor, and you will be eternal. Blood. I don't remember. I am poison, I am perdition, I am disgrace. Burn me down, eradicate me, or perish, rejected by the throne. Absence sustain, I bring you closer to him. Oh, whoops. Am I dumb? Oh, it's weakness. I am dumb, duty. No, so throne for sure. I don't remember the answer to this one. Blood. Weakness. Duty. Throne. Life. Weakness. I know that's throne. Man, oh man, that tells you how long it's been since I played. Yeah, this is for sure weakness. Duty. Throne. Oh man. I'm not even gonna. Alright. This one's definitely throne, because that's currency, that's why the greedy. I'm within every human, and my loss is fear. Soul. Weakness. Only in duty does. I don't remember. I'll try one more time. No, I'll try a couple more times. You know what? No, I thought I was right. Isn't it this? Blood, weakness, and then... Oh, purity. Yeah. I was just there. I was just missing it, man. How strange and exciting it is to behold the holy object that has lain hidden from the eyes for so many years. Truly, it is a great day upon the rogue trader himself has revealed the legacy of great missionaries. Perfect.
Always keep your eye on the price.
Make sure to hit F5.
This is intriguing.
Press the button. I don't have enough people to do that. Need a fifth. Whoopsie. Grant me understanding, master. Grant me wisdom. Your lordship, how can I be of service? Peter, having difficulty. Nothing escaped your lordship's notice. As it happens, I am struggling to categorize the rather peculiar confessions. I wouldn't have dared tell you about them, but I think they may have been left by senior officers, which would make this a matter of the highest order. One is far beyond my meager understanding. These confessions, you see, are far from being examples of pious conformity. I dread the very thought of dissonant heresy poisoning the minds of some of our most eminent members of the crew. But I cannot change what I heard. I cannot share this with anyone but the Emperor's anointed, nor can I allow anyone but your lordship to listen to these messages protected by the secrecy of confessions. Let me hear them. I'm not even gonna do these because you're not supposed to know. But I know. So this was the war. That's the secret. This one mentions the war. Actually, you know what? I'll just do their voices because I know who it is. I don't remember the voice I used for him. One question has troubled me for years. Why are some destined to perish in the warp, while others must go on living, preserving the memory of the dead? Worthier and more luminous souls have been lost, and yet I am still here. The orphans on the ship have already been provided with the bare essentials. But even so, every so often I consider increasing their rations and ordering more sets of clothes for them. That will not replace the families they lost, but it will improve their lives somewhat, especially given that the ship has enough resources to cover that comparably trivial expense. Rapid preppers display a high degree of socialization both among their kind and towards their owners. These animals adjust well to the void ship's lower gravity. Since it is similar to the homeworld's conditions, sloppy-eared clepper meat is edible, should the necessary demand it. I'm curious. I will seek them out. I suppose these confessions truly are special. Though Lord is giving them personal attention, never would I have imagined a rogue trader himself coming to my aid. I will come back. Alright.
I always keep my options open.
Let's pray. No, we won't get any benefit for doing this because I am not dogmatic. The Emperor protects your lordship. Are you here to pray, or have mundane matters brought you to me? Remind me, what is this you do on the ship? I am the ship's confessor, your lordship. New vessel that abides the Imperium's laws can sail to the void without the spiritual guidance. Even a smaller sized ship. Actually, you know what? This guy's like jolly. Ho ho ho! I am the spirit confessor, your lordship. No vessel that abides by the Imperium's laws can sail in the void without spiritual guide. Even a small-sized ship that does not have a member of the ecclesiarchy on board entrusts all matters of faith to the lay person, who is staunch adherent of the creed. A rogue trader's flagship naturally is expected to have a confessor who comes from the line of his reverend servants. I am such one. I'm entrusted with carrying the reliquary chapel, then the diagnostic crypt. I also conduct liturgies, consecrate the ship's bays, and strengthen the group's hearts. Wherever dark hours upon us, lest any among them falter in the face of the horrors lurking in the darkness, and fail in their duty. Open the reliquary. Ask your lordship. I do not know a way to open the locks on that particular receptacle without damaging its contents. One of these ship's confessors from days past sealed the reliquary well so as to bar anyone from taking the weapon. I suppose it was a desperate precautionary measure against them thieves and heretics who would seek to lay their hands on one of the holy relics. I am sure there exists some impenetrable secret method of unlocking the reliquaries, and if I only knew what it was, I would tell you this right moment. Why would I always find time for penance and more mourning? An irrelevant question. Our fate's in the Emperor's hands, and he does as his plans require. I can't do it anymore. Actually, no, there is something I want people to confess to you, do they not? Ours is a throne-fearing flock that regularly leaves vox recordings in the shrine confessional house in the eastern part of the reliquary. This allows us to maintain constant watch on any heretical tendencies. We can observe the earnesty with which our parishioners render their duties, as well as any dangerous dissonance brewing in their minds. Initiate Clutos is responsible for sorting the confessions. He would be honored to offer you access to the confession cogitator. The Lady Theodora come here often. Your predecessor always had due concern for the workplace maintenance and its needs. Under her rule, faith occupied its proper place on the ship. Is this the only place of worship on the ship? Why no! There are multiple sancta on every deck, where your subjects pray fervently and the clergy keeps close watch on the firmness of their faith. This, on the other hand, is the holiest of holy places. Only the noblest among your servants are permitted to set foot. I want those on other decks to be able to partake in this exuberance as well. Oh, truly a most generous, gracious gesture, your lordship. I will arrange for commoners who have distinguished themselves in service to be allowed in here. An event like this will fill them with fervor, and they will pass down the memory of what they've seen to their offspring. Every relic we have here is either arduously tracked down by your ancestors, captured in battle against the faithless, or received as a gift for glorious deeds. A show of loyalty to the Emperor that speaks for itself, does it not? For our part, we keep the precious relics intact and undisturbed as we conduct liturgies. and perform rites. Initiate Zeke is especially diligent in his care for the relics, though he is of common stock. He earned his position through dedication and piety. Alright, I'm done. Ugh.
Let us
Too
not
much
dawdle.
talking in too short a time. We need a 5th character to finish there. So let's head to the bridge and get 2 of the 3 confessions done, because I just mentioned I didn't want to talk, and I'm gonna talk some more. Oh man. Yes. Strength. It's not that useful though. Alright. So, as I already mentioned in my little voice, have you ever heard of the Fire Reckoning? For I could tell it's a voice ship of sorts. There was mention of it in Theodore's documents. I'm afraid it is not immediately familiar to me, your lordship. Please allow me a moment. I say, Count von Valentius did indeed sign a contract with the owners of the vessel with the designation Fiery Reckoning. There are transactions records of the ship picking up cargo from Kirvagama. Well, this is odd. The data log ends there. Apparently the ship had some interactions with one of the workshops on your industrial world. I beg your pardon, your lordship, but that is the extent of assistance I can provide you regarding this particular matter. Have you made a confession lately? Your lordship, you are truly master about springing unexpected questions on a man. However, I must admit, I don't quite understand this one. The orphans on the ship have already been provided with the bare essentials, have they not? I will not pry into how your lordship found out about my confession. I suppose it raises some questions for you. I'm willing to allocate extra resources to provide for those orphans. I marvel at your generosity! Will there be any special instructions, your lordship? Educate them so they may grow to be of greater use to the ship. Assign teachers, supply books, and commend the best students with gifts. A wise decision, your lordship. 2 sheriffs with 1 shot. That is to say, it is good to know that the children will both learn and be rewarded for their diligence. I'd like to replace the painting of Theodora. It will read on, your lordship. Enough. Alright, so that was Uno. Dos is number right here. Lawbeard Kleppas, their confession. I assume you heard my confessional message. Do you wish to talk about it? Why? I was fault-checking the Vox devices in the ship's reliquary. Message recordings work, but dedication does not. You have helped me establish that. Thank you. Delegation. Wait, why that? At the time, I had nothing to repent of, so I dedicated an excerpt from an old letter to my mother. As you heard, it contained arguments in favor of keeping Lop-Eyed Clippers on the ship. I can still recite it from memory. Professor perplexed the initiate. Find and delete it, we shall forget about it. Will do. Would you like to discuss other matters? No. I'm tired of talking. I want some action. But I know I gotta do some more talking. We'll get our 5th and 6th member. The question is, which will be first? Lord Captain, reporting the heralds of the Navis nobility continued to maintain Vox silence, perhaps due to Eureka 5 being off limits to visitors. We anticipate signals from beacons drifting into the station's orbit. The demands are clear. We are told to turn the ship around immediately. We have also detected an accumulation of space debris near the shipping docks. Presumably, it is the remains of interplanetary shuttles. Perhaps the esteemed Navis nobility requires aid and therefore cannot respond to the transmissions. Auger crew, scan the station. Yes, Lord Captain. The officer from the Auger crew performed a full scan of the station.
but the information is imprecise. They note we have distortions of unclear genesis that are throwing off most of the readings. We are able to ascertain that the reactor core of the station is still active, but many compartments are underpowered and some fully depressurized. Signs of biological activity are largely present in the central module, which means the station have not yet been abandoned. So the question remains, why are the esteemed navigators hailed to ignore us? I am sorry, Lord Captain. The station does not reply even after official greetings by rogue traders, and the delegation of your intent to negotiate in person.
Order the crew, we will go.
Affirmative, Lord Captain. We do not know what is happening on the station, and you will have to look for the esteemed navigators blind. Dock safely, and may the God Emperor light your path.
At least I had more rakes in the first one. Man, I just gotta go, go, go. This is my first time showing up to this place. Second, I always show up to here first because it's the closest.
Pathetic worm. You dare to argue with your master?
It was not you whom I swore to serve within these walls. My lips are sealed.
Confess. What was the old man's last command? What are you planning?
Give up, Keeper. You have lost this battle. Again.
We're getting nowhere with these ones, sir. Permission to execute them.
Wretches, you will consign to oblivion for your transgressions against House Orselio. Immortal Emperor, deliver your servant from peril. Prayers will not help you, servants of the damned. In the name of House Orselio, I command you to execute the infidels. Infidels! Not a step further. Master, we have some strange guests on the station. Step back, while I unleash the horrors of the Sea of Souls upon you. Emperor, be my witness. Wait, how can a blind man see the starry sky? I do not know what you are up to, but I am no mood for games. Abelard, if you'd be so kind. Before you stands his lordship, the rogue trader Percival von Valentius, heir to the greatest protectorate in the Corona's expanse, and bearer of the sacred warrant of trade. Allow me to point out that the nobility custom requires the Lord Navigator to introduce himself first. But given the unusual circumstances on the station, his lordship, the rogue trader, is willing to turn a blind eye to your hostility. But just this once. In that case, I shall turn a blind eye to your unceremonious invasion. But just this once. Very well. Allow me to introduce myself. Before you stands Felix Christoph August, keeper of this place. So you did not arrive to offer support to the traitors? That is great news. Having said that... Oh, is there an issue going on? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Sorry. More technical difficulties. Man, they're happening regularly. Having said that, you must understand that Urak 5 is a holy sanctum for House Orselio, and the path to it is only revealed to a select few.
pains me to say, you are not on the guest list. Why would the keeper of a station commend vile mutants condemned by the Emperor? The blame lies with Theobald Orselio, the second keeper of Urak 5. The old man was a great navigator, but he could no longer control his powers. I begged him to retire, but he was too obsessed with our mistress, Lady Cassia. His madness and stubbornness spelled doom for the entire station. For he opened his third eye in a fit of rage and unleashed the horrors of the warp on those who displeased him. The Theobald I knew would never have used his powers in such a reckless manner. This will be difficult to explain to the initiated, but I am going to try. The warp currents... My tongue just stopped. The warp currents in the system have been tumultuous for dozens of cycles, and have worn the veil no, so my apologies. And have worn the veil. My brain just stopped. Ugh. My brain is not working anymore. Sorry. The warp currents and have worn the veil between our world and the immaterium, thin and frail. At least here on the station, the ruinous powers are trying to tear it down completely and corrupt all living things. The servants were the first to fall victim to it. Oh, their bodies morphed, and pain and despair drove the poor souls mad. The lunatics took my mistress prisoner, and almost destroyed the station. But I rallied the few who still followed the light of the Golden Throne to set things right. The Lord Navigator here is speaking with the unvarnished truth. I bet this station is full of voices and whispers, all trying to break through from the other side, waiting for you to reach and swing out the door wide open. I sincerely hope the influence of the immaterium has not yet affected the body and your soul. With all due respect, I advise you not to remain at the station. Return to your void ship. I need to save Lady Cassia. If you are not willing to help, or indeed risk your life, you must leave now. What kind of help are you talking about? I would never ask for you such favor under different circumstances, and yet Lady Cassia's well-being is above all. I haven't got many people left, and my wounds are too deep for me to act with precision and swiftness. But you may actually succeed. In order to ascend to the Mistress' chambers, you will need to make a holy relic sanctified within the blood of Holy Lady Orselio herself. That is, the control rod of the elevator machine spirit. I have one part, and the other was lost during the mutiny. But even this relic will be of no use unless the elevator mechanism is powered. How do I remake it? I have a phylactery containing the Mistress's blood. It just needs to be taken to the laboratory, which is located behind one of the reliquary doors. The most ancient of sacred mechanisms will help to rebuild the rod. The tech priests ceaselessly perform the rites of appeasement so that the machine spirit would serve the house in its time of need. The faithful hours upon us. So how am I supposed to power the elevator? The station's main cogitator is situated in the guard room. Just enter the correct command sequence and the sacred mechanism will do the rest. If it's so simple, why don't you do it yourself? I never said the feat would be easy to accomplish. The path to the laboratory and the guard room is blocked by the very same madmen who took over the station. They will not negotiate and are not afraid of displeasing the Navis nobility or incurring the Emperor's wrath. They bow only to brute strength, something that I currently lack. I guess that makes sense.
The woes of your house upset the balance of power in the part of the galaxy. I will help you, not for the sake. The rogue trader's aid will cost our Cecilio, but you should rejoice, for your mistress will live. So be it. Hurry. Mistress' safety is all that matters. Should you fail, our arrangement is finished. Uh-huh. Oh. My throat is sore.
Is there money to be made?
Is there money to be made?
White. Bright, pure color. And it's all riddled with horrible veins that carry the poison of fear and pain throughout its body. Who are you? Why are you crying?
If the witch is talking about the enemies of humanity who set upon this abode of noble navigators, then our weapons will soon dispel their wicked misery.
Others.
Protect the child!
Oh. That's something I haven't experienced yet. Ooh, I like the eye that's there. Game.
I'll make an example out of you!
Stand your ground!
Oh. Okay. Yeah, also, am I going last? I am. Whatever.
As the Emperor commands, I
Rapid
act.
fire.
Strike is a prayer.
First kill.
I'll do it. Guided by faith.
Delicious. Double kill. Triple kill. This is based off of steel.
I must not falter.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Miss, miss.
Weather the storm.
Bzzz. Let's just rush in as best as we can.
Interested. It will be done. Reduced to dust.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I will do my duty.
Then get him to focus on you.
They who discern the future on the
From the
battlefield.
battlefield.
On it.
Nice, nice.
What?
Let's get rid of the
Was that you?
senses.
Or
Weapon at the ready.
Moving out.
Break
Huh.
my faith. Strengthens
So
me.
is it literally just this fight is slightly harder? That's what That's what changes. You missed.
Break them around.
I'm curious.
Just a minor setback.
And I guess that there are no mines. Let's see, let's get that number up, and then let's take them all. For a beautiful 8% extra armor.
Don't let your guard down. It was inevitable. On it.
When we get the second kill, we do not. Okay.
Faith without deeds is worthless. Doubt is for the weak.
Beautiful.
I'll do it. Power resides in the will of the
Big
righteous.
power. Mr. 65.
As the Emperor commands vindicated. Faith without deeds is worthless. As the Emperor
It's another 65. Got him. Alright, let's gain 36 momentum. Get ready to ult almost again. Yep, they're blind.
Stay vigilant.
Oh. Uh-oh. Ow.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. At your beck and call.
Alright, let's kill.
Victory is mine. Took care of this one.
Beautiful. Alright, last person, since they are the last.
Will do.
Let's just die. Beautiful. That went very well. Okay, so there are no mines, I guess. There's servants about.
That's how it's done.
Interesting. Doing things in a different order. I know how one goes. You need that? I'm pretty sure. Or no, is that one of the things you don't need? I don't remember. Mumbles incoherently.
I always have a backup plan.
So, lots of mutants. They are not mutants when you see them. If you come here first. Which is why I'm like, oh, surprise. And so the combat, I'd say there's more melee dudes, so combat's a little, is supposed to be harder, but I don't know, I found this one easier because there's more melee dudes.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Mm-hmm. Oh, great. Am I gonna remember the codes? Hey, that's my next question. Am I gonna remember the codes? Navigator Flush.
The crew continues to mourn Lady Theodora. I fear it may affect the performance of their duties in service of the Lord Captain.
Let the people grieve. Lady Theodora was with us so long that we started to believe.
That was barely a challenge.
I believe that she was immortal. Heresy. Heresy!
Rise to the top or get left in the dust. I always get the job done.
Bum. So there are absolutely no mines. There's a single mutated trader. Okay, so you also see what happens here.
That's how it's done.
Alright, I know that's one of them.
I always keep my options open.
Ah, and these guests are alive if you come here first. Okay.
Just
I am
as
beginning
I
to
planned.
see. I am beginning to see.
Success is the only outcome I accept.
A really good weapon right there. Let me just do that. Actually, this is better. By 5%. 5% higher.
Let us know,
Alright. That's different. I usually come here first, so it's interesting seeing that there's that difference. Awaken the cogitator. Quest data. Felix, location alive. Orcelia, Theobald. Everyone else is dead. The child is in the upper. Attention, calming procedures advised. Alright. Examine the logs. View the report. This is Officer A282. Do you copy? Several generators overheated on the lower levels. Chambers A to D are underpowered. The tech piece crew sent to investigate the problem is not responding. Request back. Officer H123 speaking. 200 servants perished due to explosive decompression of the living quarters. We've located traces of mechanical interference. The preliminary cause is officer sabotage. Crews 5, 6, and 9 are cut off from the main compartment. We have enough oxygen for 20 minutes. May the Emperor save our souls. Senior station officers, this is the captain speaking. We attempted to contact the Winterscale sign for help, but something is jamming the signal. We never received a reply and cannot be sure it was even sent in the first place. Rescue team is not coming. We are on our own, so remain vigilant. Anyone could be a traitor, you hear me? Anyone! If you are in doubt, shoot to kill. Servants close to the child have started butchering one another again. An order came from above to have their remains reprocessed. The navigations with the Winterscales were a success. A new batch of servants will arrive in 10 moons. Escort them to the laboratory at once. It is imperative that we increase the new retainer's resistance to the child's powers. Data expunged. Childly picked flow disabled access code and station. Only the keepers of the station have access to the life support system, but Keeper Theobald had not left the child's side, and neither had I. Could it be that? Examine for life. Open all doors. 1011. Do. It's just going to the door. That's worth skipping. Alright, get back. Main elevator controls. Activate the elevator. Return. Step away. Boom. Alright. It's weird the mines aren't here.
Have a backup plan.
This is +3 to lower warp. Plus willpower, if memory serves. Collect. Inventory. Boot. She don't need it, though. What am I talking about? She don't need it. I've got more lower warp than she's ever gonna get. That's not true. High levels, that might not be the case. But even then, I've got very good lower warp. Main character.
Keep your wits about you.
Alright, last thing to loot. Basic las gun. Do I even have a basic las gun? I do. Okay. To the junk pile it goes. Medicate.
I always get the job done.
Alright, let's see if my memory is good.
Is there money to be made?
That's the thing. I'm worried I'm forgetting. Alright. Oh, and another servant's dead here. Okay, alright, let's see. So, first things first, transducer.
What do we have here?
Alright, let's see how good my memory is for doing this puzzle 1,000,001 times. I have a feeling I've forgotten, but let's see. Issue. Flesh sample. This is the part I forget. Okay. Biogel. Oh, shoot. Acid. Adamantine. Dang it. I remember it's... I think it's normal flesh adamantine. I just remember adamantine and acid mixed together. Let me recheck this out. Alright. Info. More and more of the servants of the Materium, we've discovered that the corrupted flesh of the mutated most uneasy to the crystals. So, corrupt flesh. So, mutated flesh with the crystal. I strongly recommend firmly grinding. Do not use acid under any circumstances. Trust me. Yada yada yada. So don't use KO. Okay, I've got it. Alright, I remember now. So I know they said don't use acid. And that being said, I have forgotten what's the one I don't use? KO. Okay, so I use OH with acid and adamantine. Alright, and then the other one is going to be really easy. So we get... right, permanent things. We get a viscous solution. Do I want that? I actually might want that. And then the other one is mutated. Okay. With the biogel and the psi crystal.
This is intriguing.
So I remembered parts of it. Alright, this one is +1 psi braiding and a 30% more chance of triggering Perils of the Warp.
You know, with her 12%, I'm half tempted to give that to her. Similarly, I'm half tempted to take the thing myself, because agility is not something I really... Actually, I'm currently using it to dodge. But it's not something I'm... Maybe I'll just hang on to it until... Yeah, I'll just hang on to it until I feel comfortable. Same thing with this. Because giving her a 30% extra % chance to Perils of the Warp, even though there's a second roll that's like 15%, I still won't.
Rise to the top, or get left
Alright,
in the
so
dust.
I guess the big difference is that you don't have people to save, and mines aren't around, so you can't save the servants.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Alright. Felix. You dealt with the threat and powered the elevator. Well done. I trust you brought the activation rod as well. Remember, every second petition may cost my mistress her life. The crossroads! There are 2 paths, both stained with blood, both leading to the accursed eye. They all wear masks so poor and flimsy they fall at the slightest touch. One hiding a blind man, another a traitor. Tell me more, what paths? I cannot say. One is paved with blind faith, and the other with hatred and treachery. Both lead to tragedy. You simply have to decide what kind of tragedy you like most. Thank you. I did not understand a single word. I have many questions. We know what happened to the station. The madmen I fought were convinced we were the traitors. That's why they are insane. Will you really heed the ramblings of retainers who dared to raise their hand against the science of noble blood? Who's this? No. The servants alone cannot be blamed for what happened. Most of the corpses discovered were either unarmed or feeble. The warp corrupts not just the soul, but just as much the body and mind, mad and furious. A single servant wielded more strength than an entire squad of the mistress's personal guards. The bodyguards had their minds fogged as well, but they honed them well. Let the blah blah blah. Destroying the shuttles, shutting off the power, and disabling security systems. Too many things required special access. Access available only to the keeper of the station. As I'm sure you are aware, there were 2 keepers of the station. Your guess is absolutely correct. Theodore or Isabel demanded to old man, obsessed with Lady Isilla and her power, and also the one to blame the woes befalled on. But we know for a fact, by looking at the thing, that he was with Lady Isilla the whole time. And stayed at his side the entire time, which means he did it before the report was filled, or maybe after, or... You dare suspect me of what happened? The one who is going out of his way to preserve what little there is still left? By the God Emperor, you will keep these slanderous accusations to yourself. Ridiculous, I personally gave out passwords to every attendant. What you mentioned when we first met has nothing to do with the access code to URAC 5. You are being misled. As into a recording of a previous conversation between the station's officers, you were very lenient towards them, purposely neglecting security. I'm certain that you are the one who did the coup. I suppose it is time to remove my mask. Congratulations, you have got me. But did you really expect me to be sincere this entire time? To welcome me with open arms, an ally of Tisiphone and her monster, the accursed child who has tormented the navigators of House Celia for years? Don't make me laugh. You arrived to help her completely destroyed our house, and I cannot let that happen. What are you babbling about? I know nothing of this Tisiphone or monster of any kind. You do not? In that case, accept my sincerest apology for the deception and my earlier behavior.
I have no intention of making an enemy of Von Valencia's heir, nor of destroying the station that served as my home for many years. They left me no choice. You cannot even imagine what monster lurks in the upper chambers. An evil, a plague, a pestilence on our bloodline that seeks to destroy House Arcelio from within. And Theobald and his followers, just mindless fanatics, serving this evil. Lady Cassia is the scion of a merciless tyrant, but it is not her relation to Tisphone that is terrifying. She is a monster whose powers drive servants to insane in mere turns. A cursed child who can kill a navigator from the Arcelio bloodline with just a look. I alone managed to get close enough to her. Over the years, she lowered her guard and trusts me. And at long last, I rid my house of this curse. This is the truth. If your cursed child agrees to become my navigator, I'll gladly rid you of this burden. You do not understand. This is... You are correct. This may work. It certainly is possible. You are going to need this charm. If you manage to press it against the monster's skin, whether by force or by guile, the baneful influence of her powers will recede. You will be able to take her and leave the station. I am not. He admitted that he lied to me. I'm just going to go and get more allies to murder him with. And notice that these people are not mutated. The pale figure with unnaturally long limbs covers her face, and with her hands, which are deformed with talon-like nails, her deathly pale face is coated with blood that continues to stream from her scarlet-misted eyes. Her spiny gills slightly hidden under her disheveled hair twitch nervously at your approach. Only now do you notice the third eye in the young woman's forehead, hidden by a jeweled ornament, and when your eyes meet, you sense overwhelming soul-sucking power. You are enveloped in despairing grief, and an invisible hand closes around your throat, cutting off your breath. Your limbs seem to fill with lead. Your heart hammers in your chest, and the desire to turn and flee from this room, from this station, almost gets the better of you. At the last moment, you master your emotions. Your will pushes back against the illusion, forcing it to retreat. Ow, ow, ow! As if my own little pals weren't bad enough. Now this one is barging into my head. Someone stop her! Heresy! By the Emperor, if you do not stop this sorcerer immediately, I will shoot you in the head! What is happening? Is someone calling my name? Are the betrayers dead already? And you? Who are you? You, girl, may address me as your lordship Von Valencius. Under whose tutelage did you learn etiquette? The Space Wolves? I am Lady Navigator Cassia Trispilia Eribilia Arcelio. You may address me as... What is this? I feel faint. This child. Lady Cassia, where are you? Sacred child, throne preserve. You. The old man shifts, revealing his face to you. It is threaded with black jet veins, and his bulging, milky eyes bear a striking resemblance to those of a dead fish. A sickly sweet scent assaults your nostrils, as if the old man's flesh is rotting inside his decayed husk. My eyes fail me, or are they unable to make you out as either enemy or ally? I'm warning you. One wrong move will bring the wrath of House Arcelio upon your head. Watch out, Lord Trader. Oh, I can't do her voice anymore. Watch out, Lord Trader. This one's so deranged, he's making the whispers shriek like crazy. He might just open that eye of his.
Defending the head of dynasty is a grave offense. Esteemed, whoever you are, at present, I'm trying to determine what is happening to on Uruk. No, I mean you no harm. I come to seek Navigator's aid. Grant that you do not look like pirates who have come coveting the riches of a wretched station, or like scoundrels in fixed service. So who are you? Abelard, introduce us. Of course, Lord Captain. His Lordship, Rogue Trader Percival von Valentius, heir to the greatest protectorate in the Coronis Expanse, and bearer of the sacred warrant of trade, extends his greetings. Another rogue trader in our corner of the galaxy. How interesting. Impressive. Most impressive. Your kind always make an appearance in desperate times, ready to cut a deal which benefits one side alone. Given that you have not so far drawn your weapons, your intentions are probably peaceful, and so House Orselio now asks service of you. Save the life of the child in exchange for future cooperation. Do not hurry to answer. Think on it. You can make yourself an ally or an enemy of House today. What service do you ask of me? Save the sacred child. Take her away from the station. I fear I do not have long left. Save the child and deliver her safely to Regent Aronto, acting head of House Orselli in the Coronis Expanse. Rest assured that the reward will be worth your effort. I know we came here for a navigator, but after everything we've seen, I've got some reservations about this girl. Such a fragile thing with such a heavy burden upon his shoulders. I believe I've made a decision. Oh. Whoops, that's not the conversation line I wanted to do. Oh, and it's been a while since I saved. Okay, I'm just gonna speed through this. I just didn't want to talk anymore. My throat's sore. From all the talk. So much talk. Okay, let's just do this quick. I've got the recipes in my mind. Normal flesh. Oh. Acid. I remember the first time I really struggled because acid was, the first thing says, whatever you do not use acid. And so I was like, okay, mutated flesh. So I was like, okay. Like I figured out this one easy enough because it's in the message. Anyway, I'm sorry that I couldn't continue. I messed up, and I will admit that. I'm just sick of talking.
I always keep my options open.
Anyway, I'll just speed through this. I should have saved.
Expected result.
But I didn't. Alright, continue. Alright. Don't mind me. I should have saved here. Alright. Good old Cassia. Continue. Of course. And then he's gonna get mad. Commerce. Abelard.
What service do you ask of me? You're talking as though you'd expect to die here. You need help. There's a medicate station on my ship. No, I am the keeper of Iraq 5. My repairs along with my station. On that note, I've got another matter to attend to. I want to know what happened between you and Felix. Or Pelek. And is my wayward student. He came to Iraq 5 as a callow youth. I personally mentored him and entrusted him with the care of the child. He was like a son to me, but he proved to be just another traitor. He sought to steal our most precious treasure, the heir of our house, our sacred child, to revel in power with others like him, casting our house into the abyss to pervert the centuries-long traditions of our family. You can see the fruits of his villainy for yourself. He decided he was not bound by his duties, the legacy of the greatest of our Novitors, Tiffany Orcelia, who led our house to prosperity for countless years. Foolish boy! The renegades clouded his mind. They sought to seize control of the dynasty before the sacred child has come of age and taken up the Navigator's throne. So choose, whose side are you on? A murderous traitor or a lawful scion? Do not thrust my arrows in my face. I am twice your age and twice as wise. Take my advice, trust no one but yourself and the Emperor. Whom else goes to betray you for gold, power, far-fetched. Alright. Let's take care of him together. That's what I wanted. Allies are always welcome, even temporary ones. I will revive the child. Do not be alarmed. The powerful Cecilia's heir will keep us help us destroy our enemies and shield us from Felix Navigator's force. But you, rest for the time before the battle.
Is there money to be made?
Ugh. Bib. Luxurious beast. In various private libraries, Brim's essays, novels, and personal accounts from the trailblazers and explorers of the Imperium. I didn't level up this time, man. Because we ended up leveling up. Right, it's time.
Rogue trader, you treacherous worm. I knew I should have killed you.
Just enough, boy. You have betrayed the child, our house, and Tisiphone herself. Surrender! For a fun fight. I am savior of our house, and I am prepared to pay the ultimate price.
Kill them. Kill them now.
Your arrogance will be your downfall.
Alright.
You dare
Nice one here. You know what? That's not that bad. Percival will go here. Adira will go here.
Doubt is for the weak.
And let's get some more kills. Aw.
As the Emperor commands, I act. I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury.
What's that ability? And ow. Alright, another one bites the dust. Abelard. Abelard's job is to
Indeed.
essentially be the main target of Felix, or Felix. Just make sure that he's constantly getting attacked. Alright, my go. 1, 1, 1, down.
I'll make it happen.
5.
I'll see to it personally.
I just am in it for...
Taking calculated risk is in my second nature. I'll make it happen. Another enemy down.
Another enemy down.
Follow my lead.
It's nice, we got a nice kill. Alright, let's see. Who here can be chain lightning? No one. Okay. Sensory deprivation is -5 to all characteristics. Oh. Blinded and -5 to all characteristics. Let's just make sure there's another you. Got the blast gun? Okay, I don't care about that. You also got the blast gun.
But of course.
Just you. Oh man, that looks like you got the big one. He did. Oh no, he didn't. Where's the -5 to all characteristics? Oh, if it succeeds, they're merely blinded. Okay.
Anything else?
Alright.
Emperor, give me strength.
I think I made the right choice here.
Follow my lead.
Yep.
Weapon at the ready.
I guess super dead.
My main strength is me.
Don't frighten me.
To the heretics.
Oh. Let's see
Rejoice
here.
in battle.
Not likely to at least get that kill if you just run straight up.
I'll do it. Eradicated.
Nice. Alright,
As
let's
the
get a
Emperor
refresh.
commands, I act.
Let's
Faith
get
without
all.
deeds is worthless. In thy light I stand, and thy light I crave.
Alright.
This is why I was
Began.
chosen. Thou is for the weak.
Damn.
I'll do it.
Alright. 2 left.
God Emperor, move through me.
And let's
Be
make that
the
one
fire
left.
in my heart.
Dang it. With my health,
As the Emperor
65.
commands, I act.
It's a 65% chance for you.
Strike
There
is
we
a
go.
prayer.
Alright.
Target well struck. I've suffered worse.
The warp curse. All incoming warp damage is increased by that, and other types of damage increased. Alright, so he's dead. Say goodbye.
It will
That said
be done.
goodbye.
You and done.
Now, this is your burden, child. Survive. Return to the fold of your house as your destiny demands.
No! Don't leave me alone in this violet-brown haze! Wake up! Your mistress is giving you an order! Do you hear me?
He was a fine seer of the war. He fought for his mistress until the end.
Yeah, no. Enough's enough. I've had my fill of waterworks, thank you.
Forgive the urgency, but we must leave the station immediately. The systems are unstable and may fail at any moment.
But this is my... What? What are you going to do to me?
Lady Cat